I will be explaining the metaphor that Kierkegaard uses in his paper The Rotation of Crops, a venture in a theory of social prudence. In this context, social prudence can be viewed as social wisdom. The central dogma that Kierkegaard argues is that boredom is the root of all evil, yet idleness can be seen as the highest good. Our society tells us that we need to find steady work in order to overcome boredom and idleness, but why do we constantly feel the need to create work? To overcome boredom and idleness? Well, why do we want to eliminate idleness? Because we are humans that are seeking constant stimulation because we think that is what will make us happy. However, Kierkegaard would argue that instead of living a mundane and scheduled life, we should rotate our crops. Now, Kierkegaard is not saying to change the scene every once in a while. Rather, he is saying to never settle down in the first place. He believes that we should be constantly changing. Our mindset should be dynamic, not static. Living like this and utilizing utmost simplicity. This will lead a person to resort to being resourceful. Being resourceful will cause us to focus on the extensity of things rather than focusing on the intensity of things. Essentially, we should broaden our mindset and think simply in order to live this way. Instead of changing the soil of our crops, we should change the methods of our farming. More simply put, instead of relocating in order to defeat boredom, we should just alter the methods in which we use to promote idleness and simple pleasures. This makes me think of how when me and my brother are bored, we would go to the basement and use tables and different objects to create a mini soccer field, and we would use a dog toy as a ball. Through our resourcefulness, we can create a whole new game that will keep us occupied for hours. We don't need to work in order to remain stimulated. Instead, we use idleness to provoke resourcefulness, bred in simplicity. Instead of being bored, we resourcefully create a new game that allows us to appreciate simplicity. The overarching arguments made are that limitations and simplicity lead to spontaneous creativity and resourcefulness, and that we should live in the moment. We would live in the moment in order to suppress boredom. It seems that people believe idleness is a void of something, but if you think of how Kierkegaard would think, he would say that the reason people work so hard is to attempt to fill a void that idleness can fix. If we can be truly idle as gods were seen to be, then we can truly be happy. For this change to come about, we must seek to rotate our crops, so to speak, and change our mindsets. Kierkegaard argues that forgetfulness and remembrance must be learned before the experience you have. If you want to forget or remember the event, you need to learn before the event even occurs. And similarly, to live life fully in the moment, we must go in with our rotation mindset. Socrates would agree with Kierkegaard because Socrates believes in living for wisdom and the art of learning truth. Like Kierkegaard, Socrates would agree to living in the moment to find solace in idleness and living simply and wisely. Diversions, like creating a mini soccer field, allow us to live simply and to live well in accordance to the principles that Kierkegaard states in his paper.